the major soft skills. That's one thing you have to know. Many of us may be understanding the concept of emotional intelligence or coming across the concept of emotional intelligence for the first time. So one of the first things you want to get is the fact that emotional intelligence is one of the major soft skills in this age and in this time. Like if you're saying somebody has soft skills, the very first one you're going to look at is emotional intelligence. There are other soft skills, and we'll explain now. But the major one is what? Emotional intelligence. So my question to you now is, what do you understand by the term soft skills? Can we get some answers from the comment section? What do you understand by the term soft skills? What do you understand by the term soft skills? Can we see some answers just to get our thoughts and our feelers? What do you understand by the term soft skills? Is it that when you touch the skill is soft? Is it that some skills when you touch them they are hard? Why some other skills they are soft? Sarah Mugwasi, I can see your response. Soft skill is what I am not taught in school. Fantastic. That's a good way to explain it. Fantastic. Can we get more answers? Soft skill is what I'm not taught in school. Can we get some more responses? What do you understand by the term soft skills? When you say a skill is soft, what do you understand? What, in your experience, in your relationship with some of the things you've read before now, what do you understand by the term soft skills? When the skill is soft, what do you understand? Any other person wants to give a shot at that? Any other person wants to give a shot at that? Just say something. Not even you say, okay, Ikel Obasaya say personality traits. Another person, Juni says soft skills are skills related to behavior and personality traits. Fantastic. Very correct, very correct. I celebrate you. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go on. I will get to the definition of soft skills shortly. Now let's follow me closely, the slides. Follow me closely. And please be taking note of your questions as we go on. Now, there are 5 top soft skills based on the research that was done by LinkedIn. The first one is creativity. There are several soft skills. You can have thousands of soft skills, many of them. But these 5 I'm listing to you now are the top 5 based on the research that was done by LinkedIn and was released January 2020, this year. The first one is creativity, and we teach that at our academy. The second one is persuasion, having persuasive skills. When you speak, when you write, that's the second one. And then the third one is what is called collaboration, being able to work with people, being able to be a good team player. That is what collaboration is about. And then number 4 is what is called adaptability. This is a very important skill in this age. Things are changing. How are you able to adapt to the changes in the environment? That's the 4th soft skill. Number 5 is the reason we are here today, and that is what is called emotional intelligence. Now, if you have all these 5 together in one person, the person is going to be very effective as a person, a personally effective person. Combination of these skills. Now, there are others. There's public speaking. There's effective communication. There is conflict resolution. But according to LinkedIn, can you see the source? How many of us know LinkedIn? I'm sure most of us are familiar with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional job site where you connect with professionals worldwide, so you can get jobs and all of that. So a research was done, and these 5 skills were recognized as the top 5. So today we just want to look at only one of them, which is what? Emotional intelligence. All right, so let's go on now. Emotional intelligence, let's get started. Now let's talk about soft skills. Let's understand the concept of soft skills. Soft skills as a concept has evolved over time. And that is what I want to quickly explain right now before we now zero it into what? Emotional intelligence. One of the things that happened is the fact that in the history of global economy, there have been different drivers of production. So back in the days, many things have evolved. And we want to do a bit of history now and lead it into this age and in this time. So we had what was called the first industrial revolution. There was an industrial revolution back in the days that occurred around 1765. And what was significant about this revolution was that it was water and steam power. These 2 technologies were the drivers of production, water and steam power. So any factory you go to, the major thing that was powering production was water and steam power. And then we now moved on to the second Industrial Revolution, which started around 1870. The major thing here was electric power. This was the days of Michael Faraday. Electric power was a major thing. That was the second industrial revolution. So if you went to any factory, the major thing that was driving production, what made people very productive, when you went to all those factories and companies, big companies, they were strong on what is called electric power. And then we now move to the third industrial revolution. This was when we now started hearing about .com, the internet, electronics and information technology. This was when the radio was founded. This was when television was done. And this was around 1969, when we started hearing about Yahoo and internet, yahoo.com, all those the .com bubble. This was the third industrial revolution, and this was 1969. So can you see the progression? First industrial revolution, 1765. Second industrial revolution, 1870. And then what? The third industrial revolution, 1969. So where are we now? We are in the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution started just around as a connection between the third and the fourth industrial revolution. And that is why we now begin to see something called artificial intelligence. If you do any research online now, just type in artificial intelligence. That is what the world is talking so much about right now. The fourth industrial revolution is where we begin to see Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of this, even Zoom that we are using right now is part of the fourth industrial revolution. These things are powering the fourth industrial revolution. All the Gmail and the Google of this age, nanotechnology, biotechnology, all of those advancements in technology, they are part of what? The fourth industrial revolution. Now you may ask, well, what is the significance of all of these things? Why am I taking all the efforts to explain all these things? Let's go further. You will know why. Now, what is the significance? Let's get started. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic has amplified the digital revolution. You agree with me? The COVID-19 pandemic has amplified the digital revolution as businesses leverage on technology immensely to thrive. Now you can see if you go online right now, there's always an IG live session every night. I mean, there's always Zoom. I'm sure you heard about how Zoom has now boomed. Zoom is now everywhere. Everybody's on Zoom. Look at now, we're on Zoom now having meetings. Conferences that should hold are now holding on Zoom. Meetings that are holding on Zoom. People that have not been used to technology are now getting used to technology. That is what is called the fourth industrial revolution. Are you with me thus far? That is one of the effects. That's one of the effects of the fourth industrial revolution. What else has happened? Now, the significance of that is that machines are gradually taking over jobs of human beings. If you don't know this, please know this now. Now, you can see that many people are working from homes. There was a lockdown that was declared, and many people stayed at their homes. Back here in Nigeria, there was a lockdown for almost 2 months. Even now, it is still not so free. The lockdown is still partially on. So people are trying to do what? Work from their homes. And so what we have also seen is that many people have been fired. I mean, there was information on the news recently that thousands and even millions of people were fired from their jobs, or even laid off, or even put off for some time. That is what is called machines are gradually taking over the jobs of human beings. Many people are being fired. So what can be done by a human being is now being done by a machine, such as artificial intelligence. Such as, I mean, for example, if you have to have a physical meeting, somebody has to arrange the meeting, somebody has to clean the meeting room, somebody has to set up buy certain things. But now you don't have to do all of that. The person that will be doing that will be fired, because now if it's going to happen on the internet, it's going to happen on Zoom, you don't need to do anything. So machines, many people are getting laid off because people can't pay their jobs. All of that is as a result of what? The COVID-19 pandemic, which is what? Causing the digital revolution, which is the fourth industrial revolution, to have a major effect on businesses. What else is the significance? All of these things that are happening right now was predicted by the World Economic Forum. Are you with me? Let me check the comment section if you have any questions. All of these things were predicted by the World Economic Forum. What did the World Economic Forum say? The World Economic Forum predicted some years ago that by 2022, 42% of jobs will be taken over by machines. This is already happening. And by 2025, that statistics will increase to what? 52%. 52%. Can you see that staggering statistics? Can you see that staggering statistics? Many things are evolving. And so when the World Economic Forum put out these statistics, nobody knew that COVID-19 pandemic was going to happen. When the World Economic Forum put on these statistics, nobody knew that, what is going to happen? But look at it. Can you see what's happening? This is the side effect. The rise of cutting-edge technology, which is all these things we've mentioned, will result in a greater proportion of jobs relying on a different set of skills than what was previously required. What are we saying now? As these technologies are evolving, this is one major point you have to underline. This is very important. As technology is evolving, people will rely, many jobs, people are losing their jobs. So if you're going to get a job, people are going to, your bosses are going to require to have different set of skills than what was, nobody is asking you about accounting. All of those, some of these skills are no longer relevant. The major thing now people are looking for, they're looking for how you can adapt. They're looking for how you can be creative. Things have changed. They're looking for how you can manage relationships because things have changed, things have evolved. So skills that are going to be required in getting jobs, apart from the hard skills, will require what? Soft skills. Let's go forward. This is another significance. Much greater emphasis will be placed on what is known as soft skills rather than hard skills. So many people won't be talking about hard skills again. So when you want to submit your work at your job, because machines can easily replace hard skills because they are technical skills. Like I explained before, many things that are repetitive, many things that are manually repetitive, machines can now do it. So there are people, your businesses and companies are looking for people that have soft skills that cannot be easily replaced by machines. Skills such as creativity. A machine cannot be creative. What you program into a machine is what it gives back to you. So, but human beings can be creative. Human beings can adapt. Human beings can relate better with individuals. That is why soft skills are very important. Look at another effect. What this means is that when you want to get a job, more than your certification and your degree, employers will be looking at for soft skills that machines cannot replace. So especially if you're a young person now in school, having a job, I mean, you're working somewhere or you're studying something right now, as you're having that degree, getting that qualification, whatever you're studying, becoming a medical doctor, an engineer, whatever it is, make sure you're having soft skills. I can't go into details of the benefits of soft skills. Soft skills are transferable skills. Soft skills will help you to make more money. Soft skills will help you to improve your network. Many benefits. So what are soft skills? Who is ready now for the definition of soft skills? I asked earlier. Soft skills, that's the definition I'm going to give to us today. I want us to take time and read that to ourselves. I want us to take time and read it. Just read that to yourself. Meditate on that. If you're done reading, can you just say done? I'm done reading. I want us to take our time on this. No rushing. Sorry, that's the definition again. If you're still reading, some of you may want to put down those definitions. You want to put down those definitions. If you're done reading, let me know. That's the definition of soft skills. Soft skills refer to a broad set of skills, behavior, attributes, attitudes, and personal qualities that enable people to effectively navigate their environment, work well with others, perform well, and achieve their goals. So can you see soft skills are not just skills, they are behaviors. They are what? They are attitudes. They are what? Personal qualities. They are what? All these things enable you to do what? Enable you to effectively navigate your environment, enable you to do what? Work well with other people, enable you to do what? Perform well, and enable you to do what? Achieve your goals. That's the definition of soft skills. You want to snap that or write that down. That's the definition. Let's go further now. So now let's go into emotional intelligence. Are you ready now? So that's soft skill. Remember I said emotional intelligence is one of the soft skills. So that is one of the soft skills that's the definition of soft skills we have just looked at. Now let's begin the training on emotional intelligence proper. Emotional intelligence. All right, let's get started. So let me start by saying that there are three capabilities that drive performance. So when you say somebody is competent, when you say somebody is sound, when you say somebody is good, so somebody is ready to be employed, employability skills. When you get to your office, when you get to your job and everything, one of the very major things they're looking out for, there are three of them. Three things. If you want to present yourself before a panel, if you want to present yourself before an interview, if you want to be successful in life, if you want to be very smart and you want to be somebody that is to be reckoned with in the affairs of men, in the things of the kingdom, because this is about the kingdom, there are three capabilities that drive performance. If you want to be successful, if you want to perform well at your job and even in school, three things. The first one is what is called technical skills. Technical skills. Technical skills are the skills that you learned in school. So some of us have been in school for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. You have a master's degree, you have a doctorate degree, you studied accounting, you studied business planning, you studied sales. Those are what are called technical skills. You learned them in school. You have a certificate for it. Online courses, some of these technical online courses, they are what technical skills, graphic design. All those ones are technical skills. Programming, coding, all of those things, technical skills. That's the first capability. Second capability is your cognitive abilities. Cognitive abilities has to do with your reason and your intellect. How smart are you? This is the one that people always say it's called IQ, your intelligence quotient. That is your cognitive abilities. This has to talk about how well you're able to think ahead of the future, how you're able to do what is called analytical reasoning, how you're able to see the vision as a leader, you're able to chart a course for the future and see something ahead. That is what is called cognitive abilities. That's when you say, somebody is smart. This guy is very smart. This lady is very smart. Those are what are called cognitive abilities. But that is not enough. What we have found out is that these two skills are the skills that people carry on in life and say they are successful. But these two skills are not enough to make you a successful human being. These two skills are not enough. There's a third one. And what is the third one? It is what is called emotional intelligence. Now, anybody that has a combination of all these three skills will become somebody who is efficient, will become somebody who is productive, will become somebody who is effective at his or her work. All right? So now let's look at some of the facts behind these three capabilities. Let's look at some facts. Now, this is the fact. The first two skills are also important. I'm not by any chance saying that technical skills and cognitive abilities are not important. They're also important. It is okay for you to be smart. It is very important for you to go to school and get a degree, learn something. They are very important. But what I'm saying is that they are the entry level requirement for executives. If you are getting to a job, for a job, for example, you are applying for a job interview, they want to see what you have studied in school. They want to see your certificate. What did you study? They want to see how smart you are. So they test your questions. They want to see, they are the entry level for executives, for leaders, for employees. If you want to get a job, they are the entry level requirements. Those are the basic things that your employers check if you want to get into a job. But that is not all. What's the next thing? These things are also drivers of performance. Of course, if you see somebody who is technically sound and somebody who is cognitively sound, they will make you a better person. It makes you a better person. You perform well at your job. If you are sound, you have a degree, you studied accounting, and you're so competent in that accounting, it will help you at your job. And another thing I want to say about these two skills, remember I'm talking about the first two, which is what technical skills and what your cognitive capacities. These two skills are regulated by a part of your brain. Please, I'm taking my time to explain these things because it's going to lead us to emotional intelligence and the relevance of it. The neocortex is the part of your brain that governs analytical and technical ability. So if you say somebody is smart, if you say somebody is intelligent, if you say somebody is brilliant, the part of their brain that governs that part is what is called the neocortex. This is a bit of biology. Some of you that study biology and science, medical students will know some of these things. Your neocortex regulates your analytical ability, your technical ability. But when it comes to emotional intelligence, another part of your brain called the limbic system. The limbic system regulates emotional intelligence. So what we are saying is the essence is that those first two skills are different. You learn them differently. Emotional intelligence, you learn it differently entirely. And that's why many people are not emotionally intelligent. And this is what we have seen. The fact that the higher you rise, the more technical skills are of negligible importance. So if you get started on a job now, if you get employed into a job right now, people can be employed into their job that have similar skills and competencies. I can get 100 people that studied accounting and they are all qualified for the job. I can get people that are smart in coding, 100 of them. So the higher you go, the more those skills are not important. Because technical skills, I can easily get it. I can just go online, 4 years, I'm done. I have a certificate in accounting, I have a certificate in engineering, 4 years. So the higher you go in leadership, the higher you go in as an employee, as a staff of a company, even in your relationship with people, it's not about what you can do. People are now looking for what? Emotional intelligence. Okay? So look at the side effect of that. So as the higher you rise, the more technical skills are of negligible importance. Then the higher you rise also, the more emotional intelligence becomes significant. So as you grow on in life, as you become more mature, you will need emotional intelligence competencies. As you leave school, as you graduate and go into the next phase of your life, you will need what? Emotional intelligence, how to manage your emotions. And we'll see the definition of emotional intelligence shortly. Okay? Now, some other facts about emotional intelligence. Look at this. The travel of information is intercepted by the limbic system. Let me explain what that means. Now, when you receive information, now all this background information I'm giving you is very vital to our training on emotional intelligence. When you receive information, when anything happens to you in life, that information is first received from the base of your brain. That information now travels through your spinal cord. All these things happen in split seconds, very fast. It travels down from the base of your brain and goes through the spinal cord and has to touch what is called what? The right side of your brain. The information has to get to the logical part of your brain for it to make sense. If it doesn't get there, you don't interpret that information. That is when you now act on information. All of this happens very quickly. But this is what happens. As the information is traveling, it is intercepted by what? The limbic system. Remember what we said about the limbic system? The limbic system is what regulates emotional intelligence. So the information that is traveling to the right side of your brain, to the logical side of your brain, is intercepted by your emotions. And that is why we always say that our brains are hardwired to give emotions the upper hand. That is why people react emotionally before they process things logically. You have already gotten angry before you realize, I shouldn't have done that. It's because of how your brain is functioned. And that is why emotional intelligence is how you regulate that information in between your logical part and the emotional part. That is the simple definition of emotional intelligence. Many people don't know how to, for example, COVID-19 pandemic, something is happening, information, people are at home, they're not making money, businesses are shutting down. That's information, that is feedback that you are getting from the environment. That information has to travel to your logical part of the brain for it to make sense and for you to interpret that information and act on it. But before it gets there, it touches the emotional part, so you begin to get sad, you begin to get unhappy. All this stuff is what's happening. You're already reacting emotionally instead of processing things logically. Certain times you will need to react emotionally too. But what we are saying is that emotional intelligence is the balance between emotion and logic. So you can see that the limbic system governs. So the limbic system is what governs what? Your feelings, your impulses, and your drives. So somebody has a feeling, somebody has an impulse, you want to know your feelings. That's what your limbic system governs that. The limbic system learns best through motivation. Remember, the limbic system is what regulates emotional intelligence. And it learns best through motivation, extended practice, and feedback. So all these things I'm telling you about emotional intelligence is not like your technical skills and your cognitive abilities. That's not how emotional intelligence is about. Emotional intelligence, people need to encourage you to develop it. You need to practice constantly. That's why I always say building emotional intelligence takes more time. It takes more time than 4 years. It's not 4 years. When you go to school and you have learned a degree, you have gotten a degree. Emotional intelligence, you have to start developing it right now. It's because it takes time. All through life, you're going to be cultivating your emotional intelligence because events will happen that will test you emotionally. So you have to invest in building yourself. You have to desire it. It takes a sincere desire and a concerted effort. You can't just settle and say, oh, okay, now after this training, I've developed emotional intelligence. I am now an emotional. No, you have to what? Develop it consciously. All the things you will learn in the next few minutes of the training that is left, you will need to practice it constantly. Concerted effort, very important. All right. So quickly now, what is the definition of emotional intelligence? What is the definition of emotional intelligence? Again, look at the definition. Read it to yourself and let me know when you're done reading. Read it to yourself, and then we'll now go quickly to the nitty-gritty of emotional intelligence. Look at the definition of emotional intelligence. Meditate on that, think about that, ponder upon that for some minutes or some seconds rather, and then let me know when you're done reading. Let me know when you're done reading. So that's the definition of emotional intelligence. Ruminate over that, think about that for some minutes. That's the definition. Fantastic. Somebody's done. If you are done reading, that's the definition. That's the classic definition of emotional intelligence. If I can get 2 more people that are done reading, think about that. If you want to write it down, you want to do a screenshot of it. Very important definition for you to understand this concept. Very important for you to understand this concept as we go on into the nitty-gritty of emotional intelligence. Okay? Please remember to keep noting your questions at the end. We're going to take questions when it's 5:30 Nigerian time. All right, fantastic. So emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize and understand. Take note of that. Recognize and understand. Some people have emotions, but they don't recognize that they have emotions. They are angry. People don't, they recognize it, but they can't understand. They ask, oh, why am I feeling this way? That means they are not emotionally intelligent. Is your ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and in others. And your ability to use this awareness to manage your behavior and relationship. Take note of in yourself and in others. It's not just about yourself. You have to be able to recognize emotion in other people. That is why people react in a funny way, because they don't know how to manage relationships. Okay? So it is how you manage yourself and how you manage other people so that you can build a better relationship and so you can express a positive behavior. Okay? So let's go on. Let's go on quickly because we have a lot to cover. All right, now, benefits. So what are the benefits of emotional intelligence? I already mentioned some of these things. Emotional intelligence will make you perform better at your job. So if you are employed as a member of a staff in any company, you will do better if you are more emotionally intelligent because you connect better with customers. People will like you because you have people skills. You're able to network. You're able to bring more interest to the company. People will like you. And research has been done. I can't just go into the details. Research has been done time and again that shows the connection between performance and emotional intelligence. That shows the relationship between how well people perform at their jobs and emotion because they're emotionally intelligent. Number two, emotional intelligence is important for leadership. If you are a leader in any sphere, you cannot be a leader and not be emotionally intelligent. We have many leaders in this world now that are not emotionally intelligent. They don't know how to influence people. They don't know how to persuade people. They just force people. They just do anything anyhow because they lack what is called emotional intelligence. Because they don't know how to talk. They just talk down on people. They just dish out. They do that. So emotional intelligence is necessary for leadership. And leadership, remember, everything rises and falls on leadership. Number three, emotional intelligence is important for personal excellence. If you want to motivate yourself, if you want to inspire yourself to action, many people get tired of their jobs. For example, COVID-19 pandemic, I'm constantly referring to that because that is what is trending right now. Many people are worried of life. I mean, some people have been fired. Some people have lost their jobs. Some people are not making money in their businesses. I mean, how do you stay motivated in trying times? That is what is called emotional intelligence. That's the secret. You stay motivated. You keep inspiring yourself, and you will see how you stay motivated. We're going to get to that. So personal excellence. Emotional intelligence will make you to be excellent in your personal life. Number four, this one is very important. Emotional intelligence will make you what? Better at your relationship. This has to do with professional relationships. This has to do with personal relationship. If you are an emotionally intelligent person, you will do better in your marriage. I know most of us are young people here, but you get married. So people have gotten a divorce because they lack emotional intelligence. They don't know how to deal with people. They don't know how to respond. And also at companies, when you are working with a team, you need to know how to work with people. Yeah, you have to be a good team player. You have to know how to manage conflicts, working with people, emotional intelligence. Some people don't, They lack emotional intelligence. That's why they have been fired from their jobs, because they just talk rashly of people. They don't know how to, they have their own idea, but they just want to execute without consulting with other people. That's lack of emotional intelligence. And then lastly, emotional intelligence, what? People with high emotional intelligence make more money. There's a research that proves this. I can't go into details. What it says in summary is the fact that the more emotionally intelligent you are, the more you are likely to be promoted. Because people, your bosses are looking for people with people skills. They are looking for employees with people skills that can manage things at the top. People that can steer the affairs of things. So the more emotionally intelligent you are, the more you are able to do what? You are able to get promotion. You are able to get promoted. And so as you get promoted, guess what happens? More money comes into you, because with promotion comes an increase in your salary. So the more emotionally intelligent you are, the more people skills you have, the more money you have. So you can see these are the benefits. So I want you to take this training very seriously. I'm happy that we're doing it free so we can have as many people as possible. Right now we have 52 people that have participated. Also, there's a recording after now, so I'm sure we can get to learn most of those things. So you can see the benefit. Emotional intelligence is very, very critical, even as we begin to look at some details of emotional intelligence. So let's go now. Let's go now. So we are in the third section now. The third section of emotional intelligence. If you can still see my screen, and if you have found the training interesting so far, can you post? Let me see your comments on the screen. We want to begin to look at the competencies of emotional intelligence. If you have found the training so interesting so far, I can see your question. Can you please hold on your question till after the training is done so we don't type over it? I can see your question, Sarah Mogwasi. We'll get to that at the end. We'll get to that at the end. That's a very insightful question. So if you can still see my screen and if you have found the training interesting so far, please post comments. I want to see some comments up and down. Just post. Finding this fantastic. We're with you. If you're with me, please kindly say you're with me so we can. If you're finding this training insightful so far, so I'm not just talking to myself. So let's be together. Competencies of emotional intelligence. Let's get some thoughts. Let's get some thoughts. Thank you, Backshaw, maybe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very interesting. By giving your comments and your feedback, you're already demonstrating emotional intelligence, as you get to see in this training later on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Richard. Yamfi, I see you. Thank you, Nkem. Thank you, thank you. All right, competencies of emotional intelligence. Please, I can see your questions already coming in. Please, let's just hold it till the end. We'll get to that shortly. Competencies. Now, quickly, when you say somebody's emotional intelligence, there are 5 things they possess. They possess 5 competencies. There are 5 components of emotional intelligence. These are the 5. The first one is self-awareness. The second one is what? Self-regulation. The third one is motivation. The fourth one is empathy. And then number 5 is social skills. Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Social skills. Okay? So we want to begin to take each of these things one after the other. Please be attentive. This is the major part of the training. We'll take them one after the other, explain what they mean, and after that, we'll now explain how to develop these things. Take note that I can't go into detail as much in this training because we have just less than 2 hours to go over. But some of these trainings, where we do them and when we do them, it takes about 3 days to really go into the concept of emotional intelligence. So you can do well to, we'll talk more about that at the end of the training. So we want to take some of these things one after the other right now and begin to explain the concept of emotional intelligence. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. Let's get started. Let's get started. So emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence. All right, I can see your comments. Fantastic. Self-awareness. Self-awareness is the major one. Self-awareness. That's the first competency of emotional intelligence. All right, let's get started. What is self-awareness? What is self-awareness? Self-awareness. Simply put, self-awareness is that term when people say, man, know thyself. I've also added there, woman, know thyself. I'll show you some of these quotes. This was said by Plato, Aristotle. Even in the Bible, there are versions of this. I've not said it was put like this exactly in the Bible. Self-awareness simply means understanding yourself, understanding who you are. Now, self-awareness simply also means having a deep understanding of your emotions, having a deep understanding of your strengths, having a deep understanding of your weaknesses, having a deep understanding of your needs, and having a deep understanding of your drives. What drives you? Some people don't know these things. So as you are learning these things, you have to be able to understand these things about yourself. Self-awareness, people that are self-aware are honest with themselves. They know what they can do. That's self-aware. When you see somebody who knows what they can do, they know their limits, they know what they possess, that is somebody who is self-aware. Self-awareness also means, that, people who are able to recognize how their feelings affect them. So you want to ask yourself, how do your feelings affect you? Remember, I'm still to explain how to develop self-awareness competencies. They recognize how their feelings affect them, other people, and their job performance. Ask yourself, am I self-aware? Do I understand myself? Do I understand what drives me? What is my motivation for life? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What gets me angry? What do I like doing? What are the things I enjoy? That's self-aware. And we're going to look at the strategies later on. People who are self-aware understand their values and their goals. Some people don't have values. That's why some people just get involved in wrong friendships, get involved in wrong habits, wrong thought patterns, because they don't know their values. They don't have a consciousness of the destination they are going to. A consciousness of your destination will regulate your present action. That is what it means to be self-aware. They know where they are headed and they know why. If you know that, yes, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to do, then you're able to do all the things, package yourself in a way that makes you able to achieve those things. That is what it means to be self-aware. Think about that again. Self-aware. Are you somebody who is self-aware? Do you understand yourself? Ruminate on that. Ruminate on that. Are you self-aware? Quickly now, let's go to self-regulation. I'm still going to get to the other part, self-regulation. I'll get to the other part where I will explain how to develop your self-awareness competencies. Now, let's quickly look at self-regulation. What is self-regulation? Self-regulation, also known as self-management, is an ongoing inner conversation. Remember, we are still talking about self now, an ongoing inner conversation. After you recognize yourself, what do you do with what you know about yourself? Self-regulation is the ability to monitor and manage your energy states, your emotions, your thoughts, your behaviors in ways that are acceptable and produce positive results. What do you know about yourself? You know that you get angry. You know that certain things get you angry. How do you position yourself in a way to enable you not get angry? You know that after you do certain things, you are tired. And when you're tired, you're not productive. And when you're not productive, you get angry. How do you regulate all of those energy states? You know that you are competent in speaking. What have you done? How have you positioned yourself to maximize that competency? That is what is called self-regulation. Self-regulation, how do you manage your anger when you're angry? How do you handle disappointment? Some people, when they get disappointed, when things don't happen the way they want it, they are just broken. When you don't do things the way they want it to be done, they're just broken. They lose interest. How do you regulate yourself? That is what is called self-regulation. People with high degree of self-regulation, they feel bad moods and emotional impulses, but find ways to control and channel them. So if you see somebody who is self-regulated, you know that they get angry. Of course, it's good to get angry. Even the Bible says what? Be ye angry, but sin not. What does that mean? What it means is that you are angry, but you regulate yourself from making that anger to lead to what? To lead to sin. That is what is called self-regulation. It is okay to be angry. It is okay to have bad moods, but don't allow your bad moods to now affect everybody in your environment. Because if you are at work, for example, and something bad has happened to you, you have to know how to regulate that bad mood. If you're in a relationship with somebody, if you are working with, you're married to somebody, something bad has happened to you, you should not allow that bad mood now to affect the relationship. And you're not getting angry. Any small thing, anybody steps on your toes, you're angry. You're now irritable. No, that means you lack self-regulation. And we're going to look at some of the skills now to develop your self-regulation skills. People with high degree of self-regulation, they have bad moods. Also, people who are in charge of their feelings are able to create an atmosphere of trust and fairness. A cool and calm work environment is created. So this is an example. This is a picture of somebody who is self-regulated. People who are in charge of their feelings are able to create an atmosphere of trust and fairness. So if you're in charge of your feelings, you are not allowing your feelings to dictate your actions. Have you seen some leaders and some people, when they get angry like this, they just make irrational decisions. it means that they lack self-regulation. You don't know, some people, when they are tired like this, they just make things that you would not expect that somebody would do. They just do. That is what it means to lack self-regulation. So you want to develop self-regulation as a person. You want to make this skill a major part of yourself. Okay? Self-regulation. Okay? All right. Let's go on now to the next one. The next one is what? Motivation. Motivation. Hope you are taking note of these things. Motivation. Motivation is the next one. Remember, I'm still going to talk about how to develop and cultivate these skills. Simple strategies. Now, let's look at motivation. What do we mean by motivation? Now, this is very vital. Please don't miss me here. Motivation is a very critical skill in emotional intelligence. Motivation are the internal and external factors that stimulate desire and energy in people to be continually interested and committed to a job, a role, or a subject, or to make an effort to attain a goal. Somebody who is motivated, you just see that they are constantly passionate. How do you stay motivated in such a crisis situation as pandemic, as the COVID-19 pandemic? How do you stay motivated when you lose your job? How do you stay motivated when you're overwhelmed, when you're under pressure? You know, some people, when they're under pressure, they just lose interest. Some people, when they are stressed like this, they just lose interest, they just lose the motivation. They can start up, they are gingered, they are happy, they want to get started, but they just, I'm tired, look, I can't go further again. That is what they lack, motivation. Motivation is a very critical skill. And this is one I hold so much in high esteem. If you see somebody who is constantly motivated, they can change the world. Motivation. Motivated people are driven to achieve beyond expectation. So you just see motivated people, they have a certain drive, a passion to just get the job done. They are so passionate, you just see it. They're not hindered by any obstacle. That is what somebody is motivated. How do you recognize someone who is motivated? If you want to discover somebody who is motivated, look at some of the things you will see. Somebody who is motivated, they have passion. That's one of the things you will see. Somebody who is motivated is passionate. And this is very important for employers of labor. You want somebody who is motivated. This is something that is important for team players. If you're a team leader, if you want to check out people who are motivated in your team, check out passion. You need passion. Secondly, you see, people who are motivated, they seek out creative challenges. They seek out, they want to challenge themselves. They want to, what's the next thing I can do? That is somebody who is motivated. People who are motivated love to learn. They are curious. They want to develop themselves. They are happy when they get the job done. They take great pride in a job well done. They are happy. They are motivated. They're excited. That's motivation. Also, somebody who is motivated displays an unflagging energy to do things better. They are always restless about the status quo. Somebody who is motivated in your team is that person who always come to meet you and tell you, this is something we can add to this program. We can do this better. We didn't do well this time. We can add. That's somebody who's motivated. That's somebody who you want to be on your team. And that's an attribute you want in your life so that you can constantly be productive. Because guess what? When motivation dies, the work is as good as done. You are finished. You can't go further again. Motivation is the fuel for life. That is why Abraham, what was said about Abraham? Through faith and patience, he inherited the promise. Faith is the word of God that is given to you. But what? Patience is the motivation, the staying power to stay, regardless of how long it takes. Abraham, 25 years, no child. God told him, how do you stay constantly motivated when the going gets tough, when the going gets rough? Motivation is very important. Somebody who is motivated also is eager to explore new approaches to work. You see somebody who is motivated, they are very eager. They are looking for opportunities to improve themselves. Somebody is motivated, they push themselves to perform better. Remember, we're still talking about emotional intelligence. Motivation is highly critical in emotional intelligence. Also, somebody is motivated, wants a way of tracking progress. They want to track progress. They want to improve. They want to become better. They come to you for advice. They come to you for feedback. Somebody who is motivated, they are optimistic. Anybody on your team who is constantly negative and pessimistic is not motivated. Somebody who is optimistic about life, who has a drive and a passion, is motivated. And such a person is what? Emotional intelligence. And that person will go very far. That person will take a company far. That person will take a society far. That person will take a nation far. That person will take a family very far. Positive approach to life. And then somebody who is motivated is committed to the organization. You see that they are passionate. They come to you. They want, what can we do to improve this environment? They are committed. They are not looking for trying to find a better opportunity out there and all of that to improve themselves. Motivation, very critical in emotional intelligence. Quickly now, let's look at empathy. Empathy, that's the number 4 competency. Remember, I'm still going to explain how to develop each of these competencies. Empathy is the number 4 competency of emotional intelligence. Let's look at this. What is empathy? Empathy is the most easily recognized of all the 5 competencies of emotional intelligence. Empathy is the one you see easily. Is the one when you are relating with people. Is empathy. You won't see their self-awareness easily. You won't see their self-regulation. It's a personal thing. You won't see motivation quite as easily as you will see empathy. Empathy does not mean trying to please everybody. Please take note of this point. You're not trying to please everybody when you're being empathetic. That's not what empathy is, and you will see what empathy means. Empathy simply means thoughtfully considering your employee's feelings. And when we say employee, you can also talk about your partner, your spouse, your friend, your people that are working under you, your subordinates. Thoughtfully considering their feelings along with other factors in the process of making intelligent decisions. So you don't make a decision until you consider how will this person take it? How will this decision I'm about to make, how will it affect this person? That is what it means to be empathetic. And people need to develop empathetic skills. If you're a leader, if you're a husband, if you're a wife, if you're a team leader, if you are in government, if anywhere you are, you need to be more empathetic. People have opinions. People have perspectives. We're in the 4th industrial revolution. People have ideas of how things should be. So if you're empathetic, you are losing out big time. Empathy is very critical in emotional intelligence. People who are empathetic, they look at body language. They're not the kind of leaders that will just do things by themselves. They just they see how you respond. They just look at you. And that's why many of our leaders in African countries, they are not empathetic. That's why most of the decisions they make, they are not geared towards improving the lives of the society. Leaders need to be empathetic. It is an empathetic mind that produces what is called innovation. It's because you are empathetic. You look at the plight of another person. That is what makes you to develop concepts and insights that will help people. Makes you write a book. Makes you develop an app. It's because you see somebody suffering somewhere. Empathy is what makes the leader say, okay, these are the policies we're going to make to better the lot of the masses. Empathy, very critical skill. People who are empathetic, they hear the message beneath the words. They don't just hear what you're saying. They hear the feeling. They hear how you're reacting. They don't, when you say, I'm fine, they know that you are not actually fine based on how you responded. That's empathy. People need to develop empathetic skills. Are we together now? Quickly now, let's look at the last one. Because there's so much to go to, I'm not going to go into all the details. So remember, empathy is one of the critical skills. Social skills, that's the last one. Remember, the first one is what? Self-awareness. Second one is what? Self-regulation. The third one is what? Motivation. The fourth one is what? Empathy. Number 5 is what? Social skills. What is social skills? Social skills are what? It's not just about friendliness. People, when you say social skill, we have to be friendly, we have to like everybody. No. Social skill is friendliness with a purpose. You are very purposeful about your friendship. You're not just I want to be everybody's my friend. No, you can't be friends with everybody. Social skill is being strategic about how you make friends with people because there's a purpose to it. And what is social skill again? Social skills include skills that facilitate successful interactions among people. You can't be shy if you want to be emotionally intelligent. There's no place for shyness. You need to improve your network. You need to make friends. You need to expand your influence. You need people to survive in life. You need people to do well. Look at all these things we're doing right now. Somebody put all of this together. I mean, Pastor Ajibade and David could not have done all of these things by himself. There was a team because you need to work with people. So social skills are important. You need to connect well with people. Social skills will help you to be able to connect with people. Social skills, people with social skills have a wide circle of acquaintances. Underline that word, acquaintances. They may not necessarily be your friends, but you know them. They know you. If you need a favor, you can reach out to them. Of course, there will be people that will be your friends that you can talk to. You are not supposed to be making an enemy of everybody. People need to be your friend. You need to have a wide circle of acquaintance. You need to be able to make friends with people. Study, and it's not just everybody, selectively. People who have social skills, they are skilled at finding common ground with people. When you're meeting somebody for the first time, how do you introduce yourself? How do you build rapport? They have a knack for building rapport. How do you connect? How do you make friends with people easily? People with social skills have that. People with social skills have the assumption that nothing important gets done alone. No man is an island. No man is an island. People with social skills know that statement. You cannot achieve anything great alone. No great man ever achieved anything alone. So you have to know this. If you want to be somebody who is socially skillful, you need people to survive. You need people to become better. That is what is called social skill. Social skill is the outcome. It is the grandfather of all the other skills that we have talked about. So how we know that you are somebody who is self-aware? How we know that you are somebody who is what? Self-regulated. How we know that you are somebody who is empathetic. How we know that you're somebody who is what? Motivated is by what? Is by your social skills. All of those things will be evident in your social skills. It will be evident how you connect, how you relate to people, how you made friends. So this is the finishing point of emotional intelligence. Are we together so far? Let's get your comments. Now we want to look at the strategies. Let me get your comments. We're still together. We have looked at self-awareness. We have looked at self-regulation. We have looked at motivation. We have looked at empathy, and we have looked at motivation and social skills. So yeah, fantastic. We're still together. Thank you very much. All right, quickly now, let's look at the strategies. How do you develop these skills? How do you develop these skills? Now, before we look at how to develop these skills, some other people classify emotional intelligence under 4 competencies. I just want to do this clarification before we move on. Some other people classify it under 2 classifications. So this is the first classification. This is the one I showed you. Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. But there's another classification. So the major person that propounded the theory of emotional intelligence is by name Daniel Goleman. But there are other people now that have also propounded theories on emotional intelligence, but they are all connected. Another guy called Bradbury that has also propounded the theory of emotional intelligence. So this is what his looks like. So we have self-awareness. So his is just 4. We have self-awareness, that's that. And then we have self-management, and we have social awareness, and we have relationship management. So what it assumes is that motivation now comes under self-regulation to become self-management here. And then empathy comes under social skills to become what? Social awareness. Do you get that? So we have 4 instead of 5. So we are using the first line. So I'm just explaining this so that in case you come across this other classification, you're not wondering. There are different classifications, okay? So quickly now, let's look at the different strategies for developing your emotional intelligence competencies. Strategies for developing. This is the juicy part. This is the meat of the training. You don't want to miss me here. You don't want to go off here. This is the exciting part. If nobody has joined you since, if you have a friend, please call them. This is the major part. How do you develop self-awareness? How do you develop self-regulation? Now, remember, I can't teach you all these things. I'm only going to talk about 12 strategies. I'm going to talk about 2 strategies for each. Some of them will have 3 strategies, but in all, 12 strategies. I can go on to teach you about 20, 25, but there's no time. I can go on to other things later on. First of all, let's talk about self-awareness. How do you develop self-awareness? Let me take a bottle of water quickly. Self-awareness. All right, let's continue. Self-awareness. How do you develop self-awareness? Number 1, you have to do a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis. Many of you may have heard about this term before. Do a SWOT analysis. Remember, self-awareness is about understanding yourself. If you want to understand yourself, this is one of the things you want to do. Do a SWOT analysis. What is a SWOT analysis? It's often used in the business parlance. A SWOT analysis is an analysis of your strength. S stands for strength. W stands for weaknesses. O stands for opportunities. And T stands for threats. So you want to do an analysis of your strengths. What are your strengths? What are the things you are bringing to a team? If I employ you now, what are your competencies? What are you good at? If I want to marry you now, if somebody is interested in getting married to you now, what are you going to bring into that relationship? If you want to date somebody now, what are your strengths? What are the things you are good at? You want to leverage on your strengths. What you do with your strength is to leverage on them. You want to constantly improve your strength. So if I were you right now, what you want to do after this training, write down what are my strengths? What are the things I'm good at? Some of you are good at reading, but you're not good at listening. Some of you are good at speaking, but you're not good at writing. What are your strengths? What are the things you bring on board a team? If you understand your strength, you're able to position yourself better. Number 2 is weaknesses. What are your weaknesses? What are the things you're not good at? Remember, Jesus told Paul, he said, in your weaknesses is my strength made perfect. Weaknesses is not something that should make you unhappy. You should rejoice. Paul said, I will rejoice in my weaknesses. Because where I am weak, then am I strong. When I am weak, then am I strong. What are your weaknesses? What are the things you can't do? What are the things that you are afraid of? What are the things you are not competent in? What are your weaknesses? Some of you, maybe you're not a good public speaker. You're not a good writer. You're not good at this. You're not good at that. Understand yourself. Understand your behavior. Also, self-awareness is about understanding your behavior. What are the things that get you angry? Weaknesses. Are you the kind of person, anything that happens like this, you always shout and scream? Are you the kind of person, once you walk for the next 5 hours, you just start feeling sleepy? Is that your weakness? O is for opportunities. What are your opportunities? What are the opportunities that are around you? This training, for example, is an opportunity to develop yourself. What other opportunities do you have around you? Have you gone online to see if there are courses online that you can develop yourself on? Self-awareness. What are the opportunities around you? When you're looking for opportunities around you, look around you, look inside of you, and look ahead of you. Look up. So look around you, look at your friends, look at the environment, look everywhere, look at the friends around you. Then look inside. What are your opportunities around you that you can develop? What are the things you have? And then look up. You can look up in the dictionary and look up online, attend online courses, opportunities. What are the opportunities for you to develop yourself? When you understand your strengths, you can now position yourself for the opportunities that you discover. Did you get that? You can see opportunities from 3 different things, from your friends, from your funds. What are the opportunities? What money, how much do you have in your account now? That's an opportunity. What kind of friend do you have that can teach you a particular skill? That's an opportunity. What are the facts on your life? How old are you now? What can you do at this age in your life? That's an opportunity. Many people, by the time they are 50, they can't do certain things again. But at this point in your life, where you are right now, either in Nigeria, in Belarus, in Russia, in Ukraine, there's an opportunity. Look for the opportunities around you. That is self-awareness. Begin to write these things, and these are assignments already. Then the T is threats. What are the threats? What are the things that are standing in the way of you achieving your goal or your vision? Threats are the things that stand in the way of your progress. What are the things that are your threats? What threats do your weaknesses expose to you? Ask yourself that question. What threats? So if you have certain weaknesses, so there's a connection between your strengths and your opportunities. And there's a connection between your weaknesses and your threats. Where you know your strength, you are able to take hold of opportunities. But the more you experience weaknesses, the more you're exposing yourself to certain threats. So for example, let's say you're not a good public speaker, for example. The threat ahead for you when you get employed is the fact that you won't be able to lead a team well, because when you're leading a team, you have to express yourself. So you have to develop that weakness. Develop that weakness. Don't say, it's my weakness, I'm not good at it. Work on your weakness. Develop yourself. Also, when you're doing SWOT analysis, what you also do is your patterns of behavior. Check your habits. What bad habits do you have? Weakness. What strength do you have? You are a good prayer warrior. You read the Bible. What are the habits? You are a good listener. Let's say you're a good listener. That has a strength. You put it on that strength. So what I want you to do is to draw a box. S is for strength. Write down your strengths. Let's say 3 of them. Weaknesses. Write down your weaknesses. What are the things that you are weak at? Opportunities. Write down your opportunities. The opportunities around you that you can help to develop yourself. Then the threats. Look at the things that are standing in the way of your progress. Okay. What are the effects? If you have certain weaknesses in your life, it's going to affect certain things. Those are the threats. If you are constantly having certain habits and certain thought patterns, your mindset can be a weakness. Some people have very brilliant minds. That's a strength. But some people have very poor mindsets. That's a weakness. So you want to stand in the way of your threats. Next one in developing your self-awareness is master your HALT. Master your HALT. What do I mean by that? HALT is also an acronym. HALT is an acronym for, okay, before I say what it stands for, you are most likely to respond in an emotionally intelligent way. Emotionally unintelligent way. Take note of that. You are most likely to respond in an unemotionally unintelligent way if you don't master your HALT. What are your HALT? Your HALT, H is for hunger. A is for anger. L is for loneliness. T is for tiredness. So you have to master these three things. Understand yourself. When I am hungry, what are the effects that my hunger has on me? For example, personally, now once I'm hungry like this, I may not be able to speak properly. My English may not be so clear because I'm weak. I know that about myself. So I ensure that whenever I'm about to speak or do anything, I eat well. Ask yourself, when I'm hungry, what am I susceptible to? Okay? What fuels your hunger? What are the things that get you hungry? What time of the day do you get hungry? The next one is your anger. What are the things? What are the triggers? The two things you want to know about your anger, what are the things that trigger your anger? And what are the effects that your anger has on the environment? Same thing about hunger. What are the effects? What are the triggers of your hunger? And what effect does your hunger has on you? What effect does your hunger have on you? Loneliness. L is for loneliness. What are the triggers of loneliness? And what effect does your loneliness have on you? When you are lonely, when you're by yourself, when you're in your room by yourself, what are the effects? What are the things? Understand that about yourself. How do you begin to feel? That is self-awareness. T is for tiredness. What are the triggers of tiredness? What are the things that get you tired? And what are the effects? What are the side effects? When you're tired, what are the effects? Master your heart. If you don't understand these things about yourself, you are likely going to respond in an emotionally unintelligent way. That's why we say master your heart. Do a SWOT analysis. Now, there are other things that can teach you about self-awareness, but there's no time. We still have 4 others. There are other strategies that can develop, but please work on these 2. And quickly, let's move on to self-regulation. Self-regulation. Time is running very fast. Oh, wow, there's no time. Sorry. Quickly, self-regulation. Self-regulation, number 1, handling anger and disappointment. How do you handle anger and disappointment? How do you handle anger and disappointment? This is very, very important. How do you handle, ask yourself, when you get angry, how do you react? Some people react negatively. Look at what somebody says. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So first of all, we're talking about anger. Immediately somebody gets you angry, you have a time frame before you respond. That time frame is going to determine what your response is. Many people react, they don't respond. What you want to do if you want to be emotionally intelligent is to what? Is to respond, not react. So people don't know how to manage their anger. And once you express anger, there's an outburst of anger in an environment. For example, at work, you just get angry, suddenly you just lose prestige and you can get fired. Because people have a negative opinion about you that this person gets angry unnecessarily. You can lose the cooperation of your team, even if it doesn't get you fired. You can lose the support of your team members. So you want to respond. Respond, not react. I can't go into details about anger management. Anger rests in the bosom of fools. Remember what the Bible says. There are so many things about anger in the book of Proverbs. So respond, don't react. Disappointment, when you're talking about disappointment, how do you handle disappointment? When things don't work the way you expect them to be. Some people, when things don't work the way they want it to be, they are frazzled. They are disgruntled. I mean, they are just pondering. Things will not always work the way you expect them to. How do you deal with disappointment? Especially when you have planned, when you have strategized, when you have worked, when you have put all the vision, you have prayed, you have fasted, and it still doesn't work out. How do you handle disappointment? It tells us how you regulate yourself. In regulating yourself on handling disappointment, know that you can't, things won't always go the way you want them to. So you have to prepare for disappointments. Certain times you'll be disappointed. Certain times things won't always work the way you want them to. Certain times your partner will always do what you want him to do, will always do what you want her to do. You have to understand that you'll be disappointed. So when you're disappointed, how do you handle disappointment? Very important. Very important. Number two thing about self-regulation, number 2 strategy is how you give and how you receive feedback and criticism. This is very important. Very, very vital. How do you give and receive feedback and criticism? Remember, criticism is a form of feedback. So some people give criticism in a very poor way. But what we want to ensure is you give constructive criticism. So how do you give? First of all, let's talk about how you give feedback. How do you give feedback? In giving feedback, use the sandwich approach. Please, when you are giving feedback to somebody, don't just start lashing on them. Even if it's a negative feedback, somebody has done something wrongly, You are not regulating yourself because you are angry. You want to give a negative feedback. How you give feedback is using the sandwich approach. Remember a sandwich. A sandwich, the major thing is inside, there's something on top and there's something under. So when we say sandwich approach, we mean by saying commend the person first. When you want to give feedback to somebody, start by saying, find something you want to thank them for. So everybody has something good in them. Nobody is entirely bad. So if you are giving feedback, this is why some parents have lost relationship with their children, because they want to give feedback and they just condemn and crucify and criticize that child. No, commend that child first. After that, now correct, which is the recommend. Recommend what you want to recommend. And then also now end by thanking them. That is the sandwich approach. Thank them. Oh, I thank you for, I like what you do. I like that you dress very well. And I like how you speak good English and all of that. And then say, if you can work on your writing skills, and I can recommend certain places you can develop your writing skills. I notice you always make certain errors when you spell certain things. But I really thank you. I mean, you're such a good person and all of that. That is how to give feedback. Don't just come and say, poor writing skills. Look at how you're just writing anyhow. Didn't you go to school? That's how some people have lost relationships. Have lost, because that person that you give such a feedback to, you have lost that person if you don't put that feedback correctly. If you don't give that feedback in the right way. Then receiving feedback. How do you receive feedback? You receive feedback in a very calm way. Now, receiving feedback is very important. How we know you are receiving feedback is because somebody is telling you, even if what that person is saying is wrong, please accept feedback with gratitude. Because anybody that is giving you feedback now and sees that you're not receiving that feedback positively will not come to give you the right feedback when the person has the right feedback. Because he notices or she has noticed that you did not receive that feedback positively, the first one positively. So any feedback that comes to you, we want to see how you are receiving it from your voice tone. Don't start shouting. Okay, thank you. Your voice tone. Don't now be frowning. Don't put on a frown because you are receiving feedback. Somebody is saying something. Receive it with gratitude. Thank the person. Oh, thank you for this feedback. Even if it's a wrong feedback the person is giving, you can express your opinion. Tell them, oh, this is what I say. Don't get defensive. That's something you want to avoid when you're receiving feedback. Don't be defensive. If you are defensive, that person will not come to give you feedback. You need people to survive. You need people, you need information. So you want to develop the ability to receive feedback. Those are strategies for helping you to be self-regulated. Quickly now, let's go on to the next one, motivation. Motivation. How do you stay motivated? Very important. Number one, create a compelling vision. People get tired because they don't have things that inspire them. People get tired because they don't have a vision that is constantly propelling them to action. So if you want to stay motivated, keep tweaking, keep adjusting. A vision is not just one thing you do and you forget. A vision is something that you have to keep working on. You have to create a strategy, goals, plan, tasks. So people don't know where they are going. That's why they are getting tired. They don't have a strategy. They don't have a to-do list. Motivation, you have to have a to-do list. Once you have a vision, I want to come out with a first class. What are the things I have to do? I have to study 3 hours every day. I have to study 5 hours every weekend. That becomes a goal. You know that this is my goal. Then what are the plans? You have tasks. These are things I have to do. If you are given a task in a company, you have the vision in front of you. Oh, the vision is you want to increase the profits of the company by $10 million. And so what are the things you have to do? You keep the vision ahead of you. And as you're keeping the vision ahead of you, don't procrastinate. People begin to lose motivation because they begin to postpone activities. Oh, I will do it tomorrow. I will do it next week. Immediately you have a vision and you have goals and plans and tasks, things to be done. Don't procrastinate. Get it done now. Because the longer it takes, listen to this, the longer it takes for you to get that task done, the less your motivation becomes. The lesser your motivation becomes. The longer it takes for you to get that task, the longer it takes, the more you keep procrastinating, the more you keep postponing that work, the lesser your motivation level will begin to drop. Also, don't multitask. Do one thing at a time. Multitasking has been said to be a good skill. It is not a good skill. There are things you can do together, but don't do them at the same time. You can do this one by 10 a.m. You can do this one by 6 p.m. But don't say you are listening to music, you are reading, and you are chatting. No, multitasking is not good. It affects your motivation level. So as you are creating that compelling vision, all these three things under that, creating a compelling vision, help you to constantly push that vision forward. I mean, as a company, in my company right now, I've had to re-strategize, replan, redraft the vision. That is what it means to be motivated. You are constantly, what are the things I can do to help myself? Number 2, embrace the education of the road. In motivation, in staying motivated, many things will happen. Nobody predicted the COVID-19 pandemic, but it is a lesson for us. You have to, there's something called education of the road. The world will teach you, situations and circumstances will teach you lessons. You have to be flexible to learn the lessons. Stay positive. Anything that happens, that's not the time for you to start complaining. When you start complaining, remember the Israelites in the wilderness, they complained, and because they complained, they lacked the motivation to go into the promised land. Don't let that be you. Stay positive. Embrace what? The education of the road. Things will happen, you will learn. Things won't always happen. There won't be water as it was for the Israelites. You have to stay positive. See the future. And then, as you are embracing the education of the road, reward yourself. Any small achievements you achieve, reward yourself. Be happy. Be excited. Don't say, I've not achieved, I've not made the break. No. Be happy. Any small win, achieve. You're happy, you're excited. Celebrate. Okay? Reward yourself. Celebrate small wins. Very important. And then also, as you're embracing the education of the road, don't focus on things you can't control. The COVID-19 pandemic, there's no cure for it now. You can't control that. So why are you worried? My education, I'm going to 4 years. Maybe my education may take a long time before I graduate. My business has been affected. You can't control. What can you control right now? And that's why look at the image in the next slide. This is how you should approach things you can control versus things you can't control. There are 2 things you should never worry about. The things you can change and the things you can't change. The things you can't change, rather, and the things you can change. 2 things you should never worry about. And that's why worry stifles motivation. The more you are getting worried, the more your motivation level begins to drop. So look at what Plato said. He said there are 2 things you should never be worried about. The things you can't change. If you can't change it, why worry about it? If you can't change it, why should you worry? And if you can change it, then change it. Because it is up to you. So invariably, there's nothing to be worried about. Because if you can change it, you change it. If you can't change it, you leave it, and you are happy. Nothing should affect your motivation. Look at the second picture. Look at the things you should focus on. Focus on this. Look at the middle thing. There are things that matter, and there are things you can't control. But you can see there's an intersection between things that matter and the things you can control. So focus on the things that matter that you can control. Did you get that? Focus on the things that matter that you can control. Can you see that? Don't be overly panicky and worried. Things that matter, very important to me. Can I control them? Focus on that. If you can't control them, forget it and be happy. Stay happy. That is motivation. Quickly now, those are the strategies for developing motivation. Let's look at empathy. This is very important. Remember, empathy is about what? Being able to enter into other people's shoes, feel what they feel, being able to connect with them. This is emotional intelligence at work. Number 1 strategy for developing empathy is to be flexible. You can't have all your ideas. You can't say, this is how I have always done it, and this is how it's going to be. You have to be flexible. Any perception or idea or opinion you have about life, there are other people that have opinions about life. You have to be flexible to receiving their own feedback too. You have to be flexible to receiving information from them. Challenge your biases. Some things are done. Somebody was asking about culture. Challenge your biases. Certain things work. The way certain things work in Nigeria are not the same. It's not the same way they work in Belarus, for example. So when you leave Nigeria and get to Belarus, you have to learn the things in Belarus that will make you to be empathetic. Challenge your biases. Things are not going to always be the same everywhere you go. In being flexible, be open to doing things differently. The way you have been doing it, some people the way they have been eating is the way they have been eating. They want to eat like that the rest of their life. So that's why when they get married, they are not able to connect with their spouse. Because the way they have done it is the way they want. You have to be flexible. Life is not going to be the same way. You are going to meet with people. Empathy, when you're flexible, it makes you more empathetic. Be open to learning new ways of doing things. The second thing that makes you more empathetic is curiosity. Be curious. Know stuff. How do you develop curiosity? Learn from people that are below you. Learn from people that are beneath you. Learn from people that are your gate men, your gardener, people that you send, your house girl, your house boy, people that you send on errands. That is what will make you empathetic. Ask questions about them. Develop curiosity. Ask them about their children. Ask them about their education. Ask them about their life. That is what will make you empathetic. In being curious, also ask questions. Get feedback. Ask your boss for questions. Ask questions from your superiors. Ask them, how am I doing? Ask for feedback. After this training, I will expect that you drop feedback. Drop your questions. Drop feedback. Let me know. Okay? Get feedback. Ask questions. Learn from your subordinates. That is how you develop curiosity. The last way you develop empathy is what? Humility. Humility. How do you stay humble? Challenge yourself to do things outside your comfort zone. Many people are proud, and so they are not empathetic. And the reason they are proud is because all they know, all they are doing is what they know. Immediately you step out of your comfort zone and you begin to do things you're not comfortable with, there will be an unsettledness and an uneasiness. That uneasiness will make you respect people that know things that you do not. Some people don't respect people that are competent, are better than them. And that's why they're not empathetic. I say, what's he doing? What's he doing? So when you travel, when you go to new places, travel to places of the world, see places, even if you can't travel, research, learn about different parts of the world, learn about other cultures. That will help you to be humble, towards being empathetic, towards developing your emotional intelligence. Travel, learn a new sport, learn a new activity, develop a new skill. That will make you what? Humble. You will stay humble. And also on social media, be impressed at the talent and accomplishment of others. And somebody posts, I just got a bachelor's degree, or I just got a doctorate degree, a PhD. Celebrate people. Don't be the one that will be jealous and say, what has he done? Somebody has published a new book. Celebrate them. That is how you stay humble. And that is how you develop your empathetic skills. Don't criticize people. Any talent, don't be, what has he done? Oh, what has he done? What are you even doing? What is there? Be impressed. Celebrate people. Acknowledge them. We'll get to acknowledgement later. That's how you stay humble. And these things will help you develop your empathetic skills. These things will help you to be a more emotionally intelligent person. Quickly, now let's look at the last one, which is social skills, as we begin to wrap up quickly, so we can take questions. Social skills, remember, is about how to connect with people. Number one, initiate conversations and know people's names. When you come to an environment, when you come to a meeting, an event, a function, don't just stay aloof. Don't say, I'm shy. People that have been shy, they haven't done so much in this world, though, because you need people to survive. You need to connect. You need to network. You need to leverage. Facebook guy that started Facebook, he didn't start it by himself. Even though he's a shy guy, doesn't like to be by himself, but he made friends with certain people. Initiate conversation. When you meet, go to a setting. Prepare questions in advance that you can ask people that can make you connect well with people. Know people, but people like their names. Don't say Ace. Don't call people Ace. Hello. No. Immediately somebody tells you their name, write it down somewhere. If you're kind of person that forgets names. When you call the person by their name, it makes them feel good. Everybody likes to be called their name. Next time you see me, it's not Mr. No, call me, I'm Mr. Peace, Bamidele. That's social skill. When you call people by their name, when you remember people's names, you are likely, there's a likelihood of you retaining that relationship. Number two, smile. Don't frown. Frowning is a poor social skill. When you go out in an environment, smile. When you smile, what you are saying when you smile is that I am open for a conversation. But if you are the kind of person, you just fold your arms and you just frown, everybody wants to avoid you. But when you smile, you have created an environment. You are saying, I'm available for a conversation. You are smiling, you are happy. And that's why ladies that smile and are happy, guys like them a lot. Because they're happy, they are free-spirited, they are happy. And that is not to say, you smile and you just allow everybody into your environment. No. There are times you have to know the limits and the boundaries. Smile, be somebody that welcomes people. Number three, practice the 3 A's. What are the 3 A's? The first one is acknowledgement. Remember, social skill. Learn to acknowledge people. How do you acknowledge people? For example, when you are invited to speak. For example, when I started the training here now, I started by acknowledging the organizers. That is what is called social skill. Acknowledge people when you speak. When you are called to say something, when you are called to make a presentation in church, first thank the person that has called you. Say, thank you. That's a social skill. That's emotional intelligence. Also, when you receive a post or a message, a mail, your boss sent you a mail, or you're in a WhatsApp group, somebody posts something, your boss or your pastor posts something on the group, acknowledge. That is social skill. People like their message to be acknowledged. Also, when do you acknowledge people? When you receive any gift or somebody, when somebody gives you anything, Or when somebody accomplishes anything, somebody says, oh, it's my birthday today, and you don't say anything about it. You are not being socially skillful. Somebody gives you a gift. No matter how small the gift is, acknowledge, I got the gift. People's gifts and accomplishments. Okay? Any talent that somebody displays, say, well done. Somebody makes a presentation in church. Somebody sings. Even if it's a poor presentation, say, well done. That's acknowledgement. That's social skill. When you tell such a person that thing, that person will feel attuned to you. That person will want to come to you. That person will want to come closer to you. Acknowledge people's gifts and accomplishments. What is the second A? The second A is appreciation. Appreciation is not the same thing as acknowledgement. In appreciation, you say thank you. Learn to say thank you. When beginning and ending a speech, I did that when I started. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for that is social skill. You thank people. People don't have these social skills. For presidents, when they're giving speeches, thank you. They don't say all of these things. When you're giving a speech, thank you for coming today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. All of those things, they are social skills. Appreciation. As you're ending to, thank you for listening. Also, for every favor or gift received, somebody does you a favor. Somebody gives you something, a gift. No matter how unimportant or trivial, no matter how very insignificant, even if you don't like the gift, even if the wristwatch that the person gave you and is one cheap wristwatch that doesn't cost much, say thank you, because the person that gave you a cheap wristwatch now can give you something very good later. But because if you don't respond very well by saying thank you, you have lost favor in the eyes of that person. I have tons and tons of examples like that. Somebody was helped, given transport fare to do certain things, and to go from a place to another place, came to visit and was given transport fare. And because he didn't call the person to say thank you, that person felt unhappy. I'm not saying you should get angry when somebody doesn't say thank you to you, but human beings are human beings. They like to, any small thing anybody does for you, say thank you, I appreciate you, thank you. I'm in a training, thank you for this training. Even if you don't learn anything about the training, say thank you. Even if say thank you. People like to be appreciated. The third A is what? Apology. Apology. First one, acknowledgement. Second one, appreciation. Third one is apology. Your tone. When you're apologizing, please don't shout. Don't scream. Oh, I'm sorry. No, don't do that. Say, I'm sorry. No. We want to see in your tone that you are really apologetic. Also, your body language. Don't be apologizing and you're looking somewhere. Oh, I'm sorry. Your face is somewhere else. No. Be present in the moment. Apology is not something you do passively. Apology is something you do actively. So we want to see it in your tone. We want to see it in your body language. Also, apology should be shown by your subsequent actions. After you've apologized, make sure that the things you do afterwards show that you are really sincere about your apology. Don't go and apologize about something you are doing and then the next thing, you are doing the same thing again after you have apologized. No, these three things have to be present in your apology. These things are social skills that many people lack that make them to be fired from their jobs. So can you see all these things? Now I can teach you so many other strategies, but there's no time. Our time is fast spent. We'll take some questions now. Now, as we begin to wrap up quickly now, next 5 minutes, having learned all of that thing, all of those things, look at some of the social skills. So look at some other social skills, communication skills, team building skills, conflict resolution, basic interaction. Look at all the other skills, okay? And then 5 things you can do quickly, 5 things you can do as we wrap up, 5 things you can do. Number 1 is that practice. Remember, you cannot learn emotional intelligence if you are not practicing. If you are not practicing, emotional intelligence takes time. It takes time. It needs you to put your attention, put your practice, all the things you have learned now, opportunity will be presented to you to test if you have actually learned these things. And when that opportunity is presented to you, you need to practice. It is in practice that your emotional intelligence is reinforced. If you don't practice, you forget. That's number 1 thing you can do after this training. Now, there's so much information. That's why number 2 is very important, because you need to build layers and layers of information. I mentioned earlier that I run a soft skills academy. So you can also enroll for other courses at the soft skills academy. We also teach online. We teach other courses online. We have courses on effective communication, how to present your point. We have courses on leadership, how to lead effectively. We have courses on conflict resolution, how to resolve conflict. We have courses on time management, personality and emotional intelligence test. There's a test you're supposed to do to know how emotionally intelligent you are. There's a test you can do to understand yourself, personality test. We have courses on persuasion, we have courses on adaptability, public speaking, collaboration, all these courses are available. You can have them online. If you're interested, you can write down this WhatsApp number, chat me up on WhatsApp, because all these skills work hand in hand with emotional intelligence. That's the second thing you can do. You can develop all these skills, and it's very, I mean, Mr. Pastor David mentioned it earlier on about how we learned some of these things from me. Very convenient to learn because it will help you to reinforce what? Your knowledge of emotional intelligence and make you an effective person. Remember, we're in the fourth industrial revolution. These skills are very important. Number 3 thing you want to do is that you want to get a copy of my book, a book that I wrote last year. There's an ebook available. It's titled The Missing Link of Education. Many people go to school, but they don't know certain skills. So I wrote a book last year based on all those 5 skills that I mentioned at the beginning: creativity, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability, and also time management. I wrote a book. That's what the book looks like. So you can look at this link right and get a copy of the book. It is just 1,000 naira in Nigerian naira, 1,000 naira. So if you're interested, go to that link. Or if you don't want to use the link, you can also chat me up on WhatsApp for how to get a copy of the book. I discuss all those 5 skills there to develop yourself. Strategies for developing your creativity, strategies for developing your persuasive skills, strategies for developing your adaptability skills. These are things that will reinforce your emotional intelligence. They are not unimportant. Then number 4 thing you can do, kindly follow me on IG and Twitter. If you're on Instagram, if you're on Twitter, that is my handle on Instagram and Twitter. I post content every day on emotional intelligence, on other soft skills, on personal effectiveness. I post content every day. I share videos every day. I develop people a lot. So write down this Instagram handle. You have to follow me and constantly engage the conversation. And then next thing, number 5, is that you want to follow the Soft Skills Academy. You follow these 2 Instagram and Twitter handles. You will learn a lot every time. My Instagram handle for the Soft Skills Academy is Get Soft Skills. Get Soft Skills. Follow that and you develop yourself. I post content every day on all the soft skills. So these are 5 things you want to do to develop yourself. Number 1 is what? To constantly what? Practice. It doesn't end here. Practice. Number 2 is what? Enroll for the courses. And number 3 is what? Get a copy of the book. When you get the book, you also go get a recording of 50 words that are commonly mispronounced in English language. It's just 1,000 naira. When you get that with the recording. And then also do what? Follow me on Instagram and IG. @askpeace_. And then for Soft Skills Academy, follow Get Soft Skills at Get Soft Skills. So this brings me to the end of the training. Thank you for listening. Thank you for attending this session. It has been a very challenging one. It has been a very instructive one. Right now, we'll be going straight to questions and answers. Those are my details if you want to contact me. Thank you so much for your attention and your audience. I've enjoyed training myself, and we will have 10 to 15 minutes for questions. So you have the floor now. Questions and answers, please. I'll be ready to take questions. All right, quickly, let me just scroll back to see some of the questions. If you can, please kindly repost your questions so we can take them. I think we have some minutes left for questions.
Okay, so
thank you so much for your audience, please.
Yes, sir. Well, I would help you in trying to read out the questions.
Okay, the details on the chat. All right, my Instagram handle on the chat. I'm posting it right now. That's my Instagram handle for the chat.
And the book and the book links.
I'm expecting your questions. All right, I'm posting my Instagram handle. And
hello,
then,
can you
yes,
hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I will read out some questions that we have here. And,
I didn't hear that.
I will read out some questions that we have here.
All right, quickly. Thank you. No problem.
Okay, and please, if you do have questions, can
you be louder? I can't hear you clearly.
Okay. If you have questions, can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, just a bit louder now.
Okay, so if you have questions, please kindly put them in the chat section, and if you would love to voice out your question, you can just raise up your hand. And
some people have asked questions previously, so we can do that.
Yes, yes. So the first question is, okay, it says, what is the difference between being straightforward and emotionally intelligent?
Say that again.
What is the difference between being straightforward and emotionally intelligent?
All right, I got that. Please, being straightforward is not the same thing as being emotionally intelligent. And they are 2 different things entirely. When you are straightforward, it means you are honest. It means you are sincere. You say what you mean and you mean what you say. And you are an honest person. And that is very important in emotional intelligence. But emotional intelligence, certain times, human beings are people who are driven by logic and emotion. So certain times you should be straightforward, especially when you're dealing with bad behavior. You have to be straightforward. Say what you mean and hit the nail on the head directly. But certain times you have to deal with what is called people that you have to be emotionally, you need to deal with them in an emotional way. You can't just respond. Logic is what makes people respond in a straightforward manner. They just say what they say, and it can be cutting, it can be biting, it can do a damage. And so it is not every time that you be straightforward, especially when straightforward means that you are saying what you mean, you are being honest, you are just being frank, and you are saying it the way it is. No. Emotional intelligence, you have to be diplomatic, you have to be skillful in knowing how to present your point. That is where empathy comes in. You can't be straightforward if you're a boss and your employer has just given birth, your employee has just given birth, and she comes to work late, and you are just straightforward. Why did you come late? Why? No, you can't be straightforward in that manner. You have to do what you have to. You have to be strategic. You can't just be straightforward, and you have to present your point in an empathetic manner. So there are two different things. Emotional intelligence is not the same thing as being straightforward, even though you have to be straightforward in certain instances. I'm sure from the training, that answered the question. All right. I have a question here. The missing link of education. Does soft skills assure me competency in the fourth industrial revolution, especially when I'm not given an industrial-centered education from primary to school to university level? Does soft skills assure me competency? The book link, yeah, I've posted the book link in the chat. All right, to answer this question now, does soft skills? Of course, this question, that is what we have been talking about all day long. That's what we have been talking about all day long. Now, in the fourth industrial revolution, many skills come into place, especially soft skills, because technologies are happening. And I'm answering you now. I hope I'm Sarah Mogwasi. Machines are taking over the jobs of many individuals. And so human beings are not the ones doing the jobs again. Machines are doing many of the jobs. Remember the statistics I quoted of World Economic Forum. By 2025, 52% of the jobs will be done by machines. And so if you want to be relevant, new jobs will come in that age that require soft skills, creativity. That is why people who are creative, people who are innovative, people who know how to connect with people, because it's an industry world now, people are, so soft skills will make you to be more relevant in the fourth industrial revolution. It's something that nobody teaches creativity in school, which is why we decided to set up an academy, which I've told you to patronize to learn all these skills at a very affordable price. Because nobody teaches these things in our schools. Emotional intelligence, all these things I've put together and talked about, nobody teaches it in all our schools. So if you learn these skills, they will make you more competent, more efficient, and better positioned to serve in the fourth industrial revolution. Because their machines are doing, but when you bring your creativity, you can do better than a machine. When you bring your emotion, a machine cannot relate with human beings. A machine does not have emotion. A machine is just programmed to act. So of course, when you're emotionally intelligent, you regulate the machine, you are more creative, you are more persuasive, you have all the combination of all these skills towards making you a better person. I hope I answered your question. Sarah, any other question, please?
Okay, we have one here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on.
Okay.
And you cannot try somebody.
How can we? Sorry.
How?
Okay. How can we develop effective communication to ensure productivity in a team?
Say that again. How can we develop effective communication
to ensure productivity in a team?
Oh, fantastic. That's a fantastic question. Now, I would recommend our training on effective communication. There are different strategies. Many people don't know how to interact. Now, there are 4 language skills. 4 language skills. There's listening, there's speaking, there's reading, there's writing. All these 4 skills make for effective communication. Some people are good with speaking, but they're not good with writing. So how they pass information is that they know how to speak. When they are speaking, they're doing well. Everybody gets all the information. But by the time they write it, All the members of the team don't understand. So what you want to do is to develop yourself in all the competencies. And listening is tied to speaking. The more you listen well, the better you're able to speak. And reading is tied to writing. The more you read well, the better you're able to write. So you need to develop all these 4 language skills to be a better communicator. And there are 7 things that make you an effective communicator. Your communication has to be clear. Your communication has to be concise. Your communication has to be the 7 C's of effective communication. I can't go into all the details. It's another training entirely. So effective communication is very essential in a team, because if people don't understand what it is they are to do, they can't get the job done. So you need to be able to know how to present your point so that all team members understand it and they're able to act. Many people are not doing what they're supposed to do because they don't get the right information, and because the information has not been communicated clearly, that's why they miss out on it. Are we together? Did I answer that?
Yes. So I'd love to ask if there are any other questions. Please, can you just
if you have any other questions, please let me get your feedback also. Please let me get your feedback.
Yes. So can we give Pastor Peace, yes, let's just type on in the comment section how you were blessed by the presentation. Okay.
Let me get your feedback. Very important. Remember, feedback is important.
Right.
Remember, feedback is important. Let's get your feedback as we begin to wrap up. Any questions?
Okay.
Any question? Please also tell me what country you're from as you are giving your feedback. Okay, Kenyan, whatever it is you are. I should show my face now so we can see our faces. All right.
Okay.
All right. This is the face of the man that has been speaking all day. We're happy to see your comments as we begin to wrap up now.
Yes. Okay. I guess we do not have any questions. So.
Say that again.
Okay. We have a comment here. So Sarah is saying that I think based on his question.
Yeah.
The question he asked, right? I think that was the missing link of education and anyways, I think you answered it, but then he wants you to answer his question with putting emphasis on entrepreneurship.
Is that the one that says, I think an emphasis on entrepreneurship will be classic?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is that a question? I think she's just passing a comment. All of these things come together to make you a better entrepreneur. You can't want to start a business and not have soft skills, because you need motivation. For example, to be able to birth you need motivation to be able to stay consistent at your job. When you birth a company, it may take a while before you start making profit. It take a while before customers and clients start coming. How do you stay motivated? That's where emotional intelligence comes into play. If you're an employer of labor, I mean, you work with members of the team. How do you work in a team? You are the owner of the job, you are an entrepreneur, but as you are recruiting and employing people, how do you sustain that relationship? People skills, very, very vital. So it ties into entrepreneurship in a strong way. I can't just go into all the details right now. It will take another time, another serious set of hours. So just go over some of the things we've mentioned now and see how it ties into entrepreneurship in a significant way. Any other question?
Well, there's a question here, but I do not get it. Anyways, I will just read it. So it says that emotional intelligence, particularly self-regulation, should not be well rounded, because I think always guarding and not dealing with your emotions can make some people break down.
I didn't get that clearly.
Okay. I'm sending it to you. Please, can you clarify? Can you explain this?
I need to hear you clearly. What are you saying?
Just a moment. Okay. I just sent it
Okay,
to
I've
you.
seen that. Emotional intelligence, particularly self-regulation, should not be well-rounded because I think always guarding and not dealing with your emotions can make some people break down. That's not what I said. I did not say that self-regulation is about guarding your emotions. No, you need to listen to what I said again. Self-regulation is not keeping you, it's not boxing yourself. No, it's about ensuring that you have the right emotions when you are responding. That was when I spoke about anger. When you are angry, you are not doing what you are not responding in an emotionally unintelligent way. You are not reacting. You are what? Responding. There's no outburst because when you're working in a team and somebody steps on your toes, somebody does something that angers you, somebody does something that you're unexcited about and all of that. We're not saying, oh, just keep it. Just keep it to yourself. No, we are saying react. No, we are saying respond. Don't react. So it's not about keeping yourself. No. React. Of course, you have to. You have to respond. People are angry. People have to know you have to deal with situations. But how you deal with the situations in a way that doesn't affect the environment, in a way that doesn't affect the relationship, in a way that doesn't destroy the climate, because there's something called climate. The work climate talks about the environment, okay? That's what is called emotional intelligence, okay? So it is not boxing, it's not keeping your emotions in and not expressing yourself. Certain times you have to cry when you are angry. But don't now settle down and say, look, I'm crying for a long time. I can't do anything. I'm sad. I'm unhappy. Pick yourself back up again. If you're angry with somebody, call them, express yourself, tell them what you have felt about them, but don't let that hamper the relationship. That is what we are saying. Self-regulation is not that you are not expressing your emotion. No, it is the fact that you are regulating it in a way that will advance the relationship, in a way that will advance the company, not a destructive way. That is why we said respond, don't react. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you
Welcome.
very much, sir.
Any other question?
No questions, no questions, no more questions. Yes, I think we can just round up now.
All right. Thank you
You.
very much for joining me from the comfort of your homes. It has been an enriching session. Remember the 5 things we talked about. Practice. It doesn't end there. Keep practicing. You can learn more. I mean, if you want to get more, I mean, reach me. My phone number, if you want to get registered for the academy, learn some courses, we can teach you online. Some of the recordings I've made available. You can listen and listen again. And then all of these things will help you to become a better person. Once again, thank you for your time. Follow us on all the social media pages, like I mentioned. You're going to learn a lot on a daily basis. Free information at your fingertips. So thank you very much. My name is Peace Bamidele. It has been an honor and a joy doing this training with you. God bless you. I'm posting my WhatsApp number on Instagram on the page again. So please feel free to contact me and chat me up. I'll be ready to pick it. I pick it directly. All right. Thank you very much. Signing out now.
Yeah,
All the
thank you
team.
very much.
God
Thank you
bless
very
you.
much. Thank you very much, Pastor Peace.
And
Let's show
stay
Pastor
safe.
Peace some love. Let's show him some love on the comment section. Let's thank him. You know, he talked about appreciation. Let's appreciate him. Yes, wisdom dropped. You know, yes, please let's appreciate him. Let's thank him. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Thank you for the wisdom. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we believe strongly, right? I believe strongly that many people have been empowered, yes, with insight today. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome.
On behalf of ourselves, myself, and everyone here in Belarus, we say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for wisdom. And like Pastor Peace has said, if you want to know more about the Soft Skills Academy, I took some courses and well, it was very insightful. We would pass across the informations to those who registered, right? And I believe some informations are already on the on the chat box, right? So please just make sure you and if you did not register, please kindly leave your contact on the chat section and we'll pass across the recordings and also all the necessary information. Thank you very much, sir, once again.
Welcome. So David, let's see your face now. Let's see your face. Let's see what you are. I'm the only one on the screen.
Wow, okay.
I can say hello. All right. Yeah, that's the young man. Well done.
Hello,
Thank you
everyone.
very much for the time.
Yeah,
It
thank
was a
you.
good time spent.
Yeah,
Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Before we go, I want to acknowledge some of our past senior pastors who actually joined us.
Fantastic.
We have Pastor Zona Pastor and Pastor Mrs. Oduayo who are joining us from Poland. Thank you, Daddy and Mommy. Thank you, Daddy and Mommy, for supporting us and for joining. We also want to acknowledge our senior pastor also, senior pastor from Sweden, Pastor Taiwo Ajayi, is also on here. Daddy, we appreciate you. Thank you. We also acknowledge everyone. Pastor P, from Poland also. Yes, Estonia also. We have Brother Ade. Thank you, Brother Tari from Ukraine. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Yes, thank you. Mommy Oduayo also, she's also here from Poland. Thank you for supporting us. I want us to just take some time out to pray for Pastor Peace, for this, for that the Lord will strengthen him. Let's just pray, take some few minutes to just bless him, and just ask that the Lord will enrich him. The Lord will strengthen him, will give him wisdom. The Lord will empower him. Let's ask that the Lord, the oil will never run dry. In the name of Jesus, let's pray that the Lord will empower him, the Lord will strengthen him in the name of Jesus.
Lord, we thank you.
Thank you,
Lord, we
merciful.
bless your name in the name of Jesus. We give you praise. We thank you. Thank you for all that you have done. We bless your name.
Precious name we have
We
prayed.
praise in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Lord, we thank you.
Before we go, I would like our Zonal pastor, Pastor Duaye from Poland, to just give us a brief remarks and give us the Father's blessing, and then we'll end the meeting for today. Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
Praise God.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh, we want to appreciate God for our brother who has given us the insightful inspiration. I want to appreciate you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord strengthen you in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
We so much acknowledge that which you have done. And when I was reading through your profile in LinkedIn, I saw that you are a man that have taken time to develop all this over the years. And may the Lord continue to bless you. May the Lord continue to strengthen you in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
We celebrate you. We appreciate you. God bless you. God bless your family in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
I want to encourage you
Amen.
guys over there from different places, different cities and countries that we have been able to be part of this teaching. Please, this wisdom to learn more and more and to revise it and to digest it and be able to run with it. And as you do that, see you at the top in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you all. God bless you. We pray for our
I
brother.
appreciate the prayers. God bless you.
Yeah. The Lord bless you, sir, in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you all. All right.
So thank you guys for joining today. So like I've said, all the necessary information will be sent to those who registered, to the groups of the two parishes here in Belarus, and yes, all of our groups. And then if you want to reach out to Pastor Peace, you can contact me. I will send all his details to you. Thank you for joining. God bless you. See
Thank
you
you
some
all.
other time.
Yeah.
We love you, and Pastor Peace, we love you. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. We love you too. Stay safe,
Yes.
everyone. Bye.
Yes, bye. Do have a lovely night. Yes, bye, everyone.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yes.
Bye-bye.